Hey, it's August 25th, 2021, and this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. Today we got a couple of stories that we're going to run through really quickly. First off, we talked about it yesterday, the infrastructure bill that was going to the House and supposed to be tied to both infrastructure bills and kind of the moderates versus the progressives of the Democratic Party and how that was going to lay out. Apparently it all blew down yesterday. So they passed the more than $3 trillion infrastructure bill. They got it pushed through the House. So it will go to the Senate now. We'll see how that comes down. It is kind of incredible. And it lies in with another story that also came out today, talking about 89% of the funds put towards helping evictions, or I guess delaying evictions from the coronavirus relief bills, has not been distributed to the folks that it matters to. So I want this to be really clear. More than $3 trillion got approved by the House after recognizing that 89% of the money they'd already previously approved for evictions and to take care of renters' help and everything has not been distributed. So it's very clear that what the Democrats are looking to do is not necessarily help people, because that money's not getting to them. It's about just creating a play for saying, hey, we're trying to help. We're trying to get money into your hands. We're trying to change how entitlements work. We're trying to change the safety net, the capability of the federal government to help you out. And it's not about actual impact. It's not about how it actually works. It's just about the effort and the intent. And one of the greatest quotes that I've ever heard from Milton Friedman is, it's terrible to judge public policy by its intent and not its performance, or something along those lines. Because when it comes to performance, government is awful, just terrible. Like it's inefficient, it's bloated, it's corrupt, but its intent might be good. And even if the Democrats' intent is good, their performance is terrible. And that's evident on the exact same day that they approved this bill, that it doesn't get to where it needs to go. It doesn't do the things they want it to do. It doesn't have the effects that they tell you it's supposed to have. And yet they continue funneling more and more money into it. They continue spending more and more money. They continue collecting more and more power at the top and taking more and more freedom and capability and autonomy away from you to do it. They say it's all going to be paid for by the rich, but ultimately all of the governing bodies that look at how these things get paid for show that impact is going to come lower and lower on that scale. The amount of money that is going to need to be collected in order to take care of some of these programs long term is just astronomically heavy on lower and lower earning individuals. And they talk about how it pays itself over 15 years, but the impacts or the payouts are only over 10 years. So you're talking about paying for a car for 15 years that you're only going to be able to drive for 10. Like it's completely unsustainable, and it continues to happen. Second story we're going to get into is a little bit about Afghanistan. It's still breaking down. Joe Biden yesterday committed to the August 31st pullout that the Taliban said had to happen, or there would be consequences for both the UK and America if they didn't get everything taken care of by that time. I get if we can get everybody out by the 31st, that's great. I don't get listening to a terrorist organization to make that happen, or an organization that we have full control, full power over, full capability to push back against. I mean, it almost feels like when they set up a deadline of the 31st and say, hey, you have to hit this or there'll be consequences, my initial reaction as an American, as the strongest military that's ever existed, of saying, no, we'll dictate the terms. We are not listening to you. You're not going to tell us what it is. If we negotiate that, if we come down and we can get it done in that time, great. But you are not going to be the ones who tell us what is going to happen. We will tell you what happens. And maybe I just have a different mentality about this, certainly than the Biden administration, but it irks me that they're allowing the Taliban to make these calls as opposed to any sort of position of power from our side. And I think that could be really problematic in the future. I think it could be problematic, again, as we talked about. NATO allies are saying, hey, this looks really bad for our capabilities of controlling security in the future. We look weak. And whether or not you believe that looking weak is important, I believe it is. I think that bullies will be bullies. Powerful people, warlords, will try to push as far as they possibly can until they're actually pushed back against. And we are in a situation right now where we look like we're crumbling or are feeble when we're not. We have no reason to be. So hopefully that changes. Again, I told you this is going to be a quick day. There's a lot going on. We will see how the week finishes out. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave those down below. If this is the sort of thing you like to get a little bit of news, a little bite, a little morsel, a little analysis for your morning, definitely subscribe to the channel. Keep up with us. We will be back tomorrow. This is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. Thanks for watching.